Hello guys, it's me again, and today we are going to continue Unit 10, The Art of Complaining, Lesson B. So to get us started, let's see. In this grammar, we are going to talk about simple and complex indeed question. So maybe you're wondering what an indeed question is. Well, first it's important to understand what a direct question is. So, what is direct question? Direct questions are the normal questions that we ask, or we can ask friends, family members, and people who we know well, okay? For example, a direct question could be, what is your name? Where are you from? What do you like? Who is she? Who is he? All those are direct questions, are normal questions we use in the everyday conversations. Now, what is indirect question? An indirect question is a question embedded inside a statement or another question. These questions are more formal, okay? So, an indirect question basically, guys, is a question embedded or put inside a statement or another question. So let's see a few quick examples of direct questions and indirect questions. So, number one, direct question. Who is she? Or where can I sit? Yeah, direct question, normal question. Now, if you want to make an indirect question inside another question, you can make it this way. Do you know? This is a question, okay? Do you know is a question. Now, what happens to the first question? We have to modify that question. Something changed. So, the question on the indirect question is, do you know who she is? Okay? Now, it's not who is she. No, it's who she is. The second, can you tell me where I can sit? Okay, not where can I sit? No, where I can sit. So that is an indirect question inside another question. Now, the third part is an indirect question inside into a statement. Here we have, he's asking. He's asking is not a question. That is a statement. So, he's asking who she is. I wonder where I can sit. Okay, so now you have a brief idea of today's grammar. Now let's see more in details. For example, guys, if you have a question, WH question with the verb to be, if you want to prepare that question for an indirect question, you need to change something. What? The verb to be will be moved right in front of the subject. The subject is book, okay? So, where my book is. Next one. What time is it? WH question, verb to be, and subject. So, if you prepare that question for an indirect question is, what time it is. Number three, who is Davy Ortiz? Who Davy Ortiz is, because the whole name and last name is the subject of the question. So the verb to be goes after, just right in front of the subject. Now, look at this. Why is Candy crying? So the result will be this. Why Candy is crying? Candy is the subject, and the verb to be goes right after the subject. Now, another situation. What about if you have a WH question, but this time it doesn't have the verb to be? What it has is the auxiliary verb. It could be do, does, or did. Well, what happens, guys, is that we drop the auxiliary, okay? We drop it. And depends on the auxiliary time or tense, the verb will be modified. Here we have does. we use does in the simple present and third person. Shakira, she. So if you prepare that question for indirect question, it will be like this. Where Shakira lives. Why lives? Because since we drop the auxiliary, the verb will take the tense of that auxiliary. What about this one? Who do you love now? Here we have simple present again, but this time the subject is you. And if you remember, in the simple present, when we use I, you, we, they, the verb do not change. So, the result, who you love now. Next situation, WH question, but this time we do not have the verb to be nor an auxiliary. What happens? Nothing happens. Who took my iPod? Who took my iPod? Who kisses better, your ex or the new one? No changes. Who fixed the car? No changes. Why? Because WH question without auxiliary or verb to be, nothing will be modified in that question. Okay, the next one is when we have a modal verb like can. Remember, we have many different modal verbs, okay? It could be can, could, might, should, would, and the rule will be the same, okay? So, the question, where can I find a parking lot? What are we going to do? We are going to switch the modal verb and the pronoun or the subject of the sentence. They switch places, and that's the result. Where I can find a parking lot here. Where can I buy a car? Yes. Where I can buy a car. One more guy says when we have yes, no question, okay? Are you hungry? Yes or not. So if we have yes, no question with the verb to be, so we are going to do the same. We are going to switch places. Are you hungry? You are hungry. What about if we have a yes, no question with auxiliary verb? Well, if that happens, guys, like before, we drop, okay? We drop the auxiliary, and if it's needed, the verb will change, depends on the time or the tense of the auxiliary. In this case, simple present, you, nothing changed, okay? So, you cook well. What about here? Simple past. Did you lock the door? Again, we drop the auxiliary, but because the question is in simple past, the verb needs to change. You locked the door. Okay, guys, here we have a short exercise. This is not really an exercise. I'm going to give you the answer right away. But if you want, you can stop the video, pause the video, and try yourself. Change the questions into statements. For example, number 1. What time is it? What time it is? So pause the video and complete it. Okay, number 2. Where is the teacher? Where the teacher is. How much is a burger? How much a burger is. Where can I get water? Where I can get water. Why is she crying? Why she is crying. How tall are you? How tall you are. What color is your car? What color your car is. So guys, if you understand, if you are clear about how to prepare a question to become an indirect question, if you master, if you know how to do these changes, then you are ready to make indirect questions. We have, guys, simple indirect question. With simple indirect question, we are going to use some phrases like this. in the beginning of a sentence, like I wonder, I'd like to know, I can't understand, can you tell me? Some of these phrases are statements. Some other might be questions, like can you tell me? That is a question. So what happened, guys? Look at this. Number one, what time is it? Indeed, question is, I'd like to know what time it is. Very simple. You choose one of those phrases and you put it just right in front or right before the question or the indeed question, all right? So, I'd like to know what time it is. The question, can you tell me what time it is? Next, why did you come late? Look at this, guys, simple past. Why did you come late? Indeed question, I can't understand why you came late. Why? Because the question is in simple past. We drop the auxiliary and the verb come changed to came, simple past. Next, I wonder why you came late. So if you notice, guys, if you use one of the phrases that start with a question, can you, then you need to use a question mark. If not, you finish the sentence with a period. Now, guys, these are simple, okay? Let's see now what are complex indeed question, which I think, in my opinion, are not that difficult. So, complex. In complex, guys, we are going to use some phrases which will have the verb to be. My big concern is. What I can understand is. Something is beyond me. Or what is beyond me is. Let's see some of these examples now. For example, guys, we have here, what time is the party? Indeed question. My big concern is what time the party is. Very simple. You only need to use one of those phrases with the verb to be, remember, and just finished the indeed question. Next, why did you come late? What I can't understand is why you came late. So guys, I hope these examples were really helpful and you really could understand. This is the exercise about this lesson. So at this moment, please stop the video, pause the video, and try yourself to make these indeed questions. Okay, guys, so if you have a chance, these are the answers. You can take a look and you can make sure. Remember, maybe in your indeed questions, you chose different beginnings, and that's okay, all right? There's no problem if you choose something different. Number one, can you tell me what time the train leaves? You can say, I wonder what time the train leaves. I don't know what time the train leaves. Can you help me? Oh, well, just like this. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. That was everything, and I see you on the next time. Goodbye.